This is a WPDE ABC 15 News following Florence update.
Busy Friday night. Families are evacuating in many communities throughout our area as the rivers continue to rise. We're keeping an eye on things for you. ABC 15's Taggart Houck will show us how high the water is getting in Longs. Sydney Glenn is live in Georgetown to explain why county leaders say they're at a disadvantage. But first tonight, traffic still at a standstill on Highway 501. Here's why. The Department of Transportation shut down the 501 bypass at the flood control wall for construction. So all drivers are forced to take 501 business. ABC 15's Nick Papatonis is live with drivers who have been crawling for hours. Nick.
A teacher was telling us to go, 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 and then, it's like instinct. You're scared, you're traumatized, so you're running as fast as you can.
10 dead after a school shooting in Texas. A teenager charged with capital murder. Coming up, we'll show you what students say they heard after the gunshot started. But first, tonight we have team coverage as the Spring Harley Rally wraps up this weekend.
ABC 15's Nick Papatonis is live in Murrells Inlet, where the party shows no sign of slowing down. And then there's Sydney Glenn. She will show us the 3 life-saving E's state troopers are practicing right now.
Some of us saw rain 4 days in a row, and Chief Meteorologist Ed Piotrowski says there's much more to come. Let's check in with him now to see where the showers are right now.
Well, the good news for all the bikers.
I think we're into day 18 of this disaster. It's hard to believe we were starting out with a Category 4 hurricane facing us, or we were facing it, and then we were spared the wind, but we got the rain.
Leaders say the flooding will not get any worse in Horry County, but things are far from back to normal, and we are still working for you. Tonight, Taggart Houck will show you how one family is surviving in their home with 4 feet of floodwater outside their garage. Tanya Brown will introduce you to a family in Nichols who has already spent 2 weeks in a shelter. Sydney Glenn is watching the traffic.
But first, we have some new information just into our newsroom for you. The Horry County Sheriff says the 2 deputies who drove through floodwaters were waved around the barricade by members of the National Guard. A spokesperson just told us because the van was a law enforcement vehicle, they were waved around that road closed sign. Now, those 2 deputies, might remember, were rescued from the floodwaters, but 2 mental health patients who were in the van, they drowned. The investigation is being handled internally and by the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division.
Well, tonight, drivers are still dealing with heavy traffic and road closures throughout the county. ABC 15's Sydney Glenn is live at the Horry County's Emergency Management Office to give us an update on the roads. Sydney?
Randy Webster says we are starting that recovery.
All right, guys, we are continuing to follow that breaking news out of Florence. Tonight, you are not with World News right now because we've got some devastating news right now out of Florence. 5 officers were shot today. We are told one of them has died.
ABC 15's Tanya Brown confirmed that one of them was a police officer with the city of Florence. Tanya, I know this is tough on you. Can you tell us any more about that officer?
No, they haven't released any information as to, the officer's position with the City Florence Police Department. They haven't done that.
No tengo nada en contra de la persona que te lleva o te hace daño.
I do not have anything against the person who took you.
No sé quién eres.
I don't know who you are.
Pero tienes un corazón.
But I know you have a heart.
A mother's plea to her daughter's kidnapper. We're going to show you where and how the FBI tracked down that stolen SUV used to take that girl. Lawmakers want answers after 2 women drowned in an Horry County Sheriff's van during Hurricane Florence. 2 correctional officers have already been fired. We'll show you why a lawyer for the family of one of the victims is blaming doctors, too. This was not a Halloween prank. Investigators say a person wearing a mask walked into a restaurant but didn't order a meal. We'll show you what deputies say happened to an employee there. The FBI is calling it a big break in the disappearance of a 13-year-old girl. Investigators say they have found that stolen SUV a man used to kidnap Hania Aguilar in Lumberton. This right here is some video of that 2002 Ford Expedition police spent all week looking for. Someone called 911 after seeing the car in a field off of Quincy Drive. That's less than 10 miles from where Aguilar was last seen. Tonight, ABC 15 has team coverage as the search for 13-year-old Hania continues. Taggart Halk shows us what businesses are doing to help detectives get information. But first, the FBI just released new video this afternoon of a person they want to speak with. Here it is. Take a good look. ABC 15's Tanya Brown shows us why.
Summer, the FBI released that video late this afternoon.
We will make South Carolina and America safe again. We will make South Carolina and America prosperous again.
The Vice President of the United States makes a visit. Mike Pence spent the afternoon in Conway campaigning for Governor Henry McMaster. South Carolina Republicans will return to the polls Tuesday to cast their vote in the GOP gubernatorial runoff election. And today, Vice President Mike Pence came to Conway to rally support for Governor Henry McMaster. He's facing a strong challenge from businessman and former Marine John Warren. ABC 15 has team coverage tonight. Nick Papantonis has been in Myrtle Beach all day and was there the moment Air Force Two landed. But first, let's head over to ABC 15's Taggart Halk. He's live at Coastal Carolina, where Vice President Mike Pence spoke. Taggart?
Actually, it's quiet here outside Williams-Brice, but earlier a crowd of about 300 people.
Trying to have a wonderful time down here in Myrtle Beach. Everything was fine until tonight.
Somebody in the crowd was yelling active shooter, which is why everybody started running.
He can't get out. I was in there.
I just never expected that we would be in the midst of this.
The guy came up to me, he's on the phone with somebody at Wet Willie's, especially they're holding hostages at Wet Willie's.
Call about a possible bomb at Holiday, no confirmation.
Happy 4th of July, guys. We've seen it all tonight.
Fear on the 4th of July at Broadway at the beach. Reports of shots fired, a bomb, and a hostage situation sent people racing away from a fireworks show.
Yeah, police say they found no evidence of a shooting, though, folks, or a bomb, or any hostages. They say the people witnesses thought were hostages were just hiding in stores for their own safety.
They were coming right at you, run. It was either get trampled or get out of the way.
Tonight we have team coverage. ABC 15's Taggart Halk spoke to people about those tense minutes and the race to find a safe spot.
But first, Sydney Glenn shows us what police say created that mass confusion and chaos. She sat down with Myrtle Beach Captain Joey Crosby to find out how a fight became pandemonium at a fireworks show.
I think you have to start by putting yourself in the shoes of the people who were at Broadway at the beach last night. All of a sudden you see people running, then you see more people running, yelling at you, telling you to get down, to hide, that there's an active shooter on the loose. You have to imagine how scary that would be. A night that was supposed to end with fireworks ended with fear, questions, and chaos.
The guy came up to me, he's on the phone with somebody at Wet Willie's, especially they're holding hostages at Wet Willie's. I got a large amount of people running away from Broadway saying there's gunshots.
People running, scared, not knowing what was true and what was fake.
This incident began as a fight. During this fight, someone referenced a gun or active shooter situation, which caused people to flee and run from the scene.
And the dominoes started to fall.
As people were running away from the scene, you had other people saying, "Why are you running?" They then tell this person, "Because someone back there has a gun," or it's an active shooter style situation. That person then tells somebody else, and they're seeing more and more people running from that scene.
People sheltered in place, hiding, others running, first responders everywhere.
I got a white male that got trampled on during everything. He's going to need EMS to check him out.
I've got him going to there, and I've got him going to Good Time Charlie's. I also have a ladder truck going over to the aquarium to get people out of the water.
As things calmed down, new questions. Some witnesses convinced there was a gun. Police saying there was no shooting.
We have not found any evidence that a shot was fired. We've not found shell casings. We have not found bullet holes. We have not found broken windows.
Yet, Captain Crosby says if you have evidence to prove otherwise, call the police. While the night may be over, there are still more answers to be found. More than 1,200 911 calls were made about this incident between 10 p.m. and midnight last night. Now, just to remind you, this is not being investigated as an active shooter situation, but it is being investigated as an assault. Police have not made any arrests yet, but they tell me they are working on it. If you have any information, you're asked to call Myrtle Beach Police. Live near Broadway at the beach, Sydney Glenn, ABC 15 News.
All right, thanks for that report, Sydney. Broadway at the beach released a statement on their Facebook page.
Yeah, they called last night a, quote, terrible turn of events. We've got that for you. It says they always try to create a festive, fun, and family-friendly experience. That statement goes on to say Broadway at the beach, quote, couldn't be more sorry that this occurred. Well, some of the people who hid, ran, and witnessed what happened spoke to our reporters tonight.
Yeah, ABC 15's Taggart Howe continues our team coverage. And Taggart, some of them told you it was the scariest moment of their lives.
Trey, yeah, thousands of people were at Broadway at the beach. They were enjoying that fireworks show, the fireworks shooting off into the sky. But moments later, some began running. They thought that they were being shot at. We caught up with a couple people in that situation. One of the families we talked to, they had a 14-year-old nephew. They were separated for quite some time, and they finally reunited here at this gas station. They say this is an experience they're not going to forget. The pop of fireworks signaling celebration. Minutes later, panic.
It was just total chaos for a while, total chaos.
Videos like these, capturing the moments thousands of people thought they were in danger.
We just heard someone has a gun.
Jeff and Jenny Mackis are here on vacation from Sumter with their 14-year-old nephew, Christopher. They can't forget it.
And all these people were being trampled and running. There was people grabbing their babies out of strollers and leaving the strollers in the park. One took the stroller and just threw it over her back with the baby still in it and running.
They caught the show. At the time, Chris was waiting in line for a ride when he heard shouting.
I just turn around and see like 200 people sprinting towards me, like, holy crap.
He ran and lost Jeff and Jenny. This was on Jeff's phone, video documenting step by step as he ran. They, along with others, sharing videos and posts to Facebook.
You couldn't tell if it was gunfire, you couldn't tell if it was fireworks, and everybody's just screaming and running and ducking, and it's really scary. It's really scary.
Pamela West and her daughter Christina Sherman made a last-minute decision to go. It's something neither will forget.
I was thinking that like a bunch of kids could have died then, and that a bunch of people died just last night.
And again, Christopher was reunited with his aunt and uncle. This is about a quarter-mile down the road from Broadway at the beach. We're here at one of the gas stations. They said it was about an hour that they were away for, and at that point, he says that he will never forget this. He tells us that he's going to go back to Broadway at the beach again, but he says, once again, things happen, and he will probably never forget this one. Live in Myrtle Beach, Taggart Howe, ABC 15 News.
All right, Taggart, scary stuff. Now, as of tonight, Broadway at the beach officials say the fireworks show set for tomorrow night is still going on as scheduled.
Well, we've learned the name of a Cheraw man killed after witnesses say fireworks exploded in his hands. The police chief says 24-year-old MC Gallion III died from his injuries. Witnesses say the fireworks hit Gallion in the upper torso at the Dizzy Gillespie apartment complex. Police say a woman started CPR, and investigators say even though he did not survive, she did everything to try and save him. Tonight, police continue to look for the people involved in a drive-by shooting that left 2 little girls shot in Marion. We first told you about this shooting minutes after it happened last night. And tonight, ABC 15's Tanya Brown is live on Montgomery Street, where the shooting happened, to show us what police know.
Trey, police tell me a man was walking here along Montgomery Street when someone tried to shoot him, but instead stray bullets hit 2 children who were just trying to have a little fun on the 4th of July. The 9 and 11-year-old girls were playing with fireworks Wednesday at this house on Montgomery Street in Marion. A short time later, police showed up.
One guy was walking and a vehicle came by, and that's when they started shooting. They were just caught in the crossfire. Kids were.
Officers say stray bullets hit the girls. One child was shot 3 times and the other once in the back. Police tell me the children are expected to be okay.
Very thankful that, you know, God was looking out of them. You know, they're just 11 and 9.
Many people who live here on Montgomery Street told me they are very concerned about violence. They were too afraid to talk on camera. One neighbor agreed to tell me what's going on.